I was a senior in high school when 9/11 happened. I mean, I think like most Americans, it was a huge moment in all of our lives at that point. I think emotionally, it was just the unknown of what was going to happen and what actually happened that day. The sorrow of the amount of people that lost their lives that day. It was hard. I'd always thought about joining the service before that. It was something I was contemplating doing after I graduated anyways. And then after we graduated, we had about 10 or 11 people that all left for different branches. And I think the biggest struggle that I probably had was, now looking back on it, I had what they like to call survivor's guilt. And we've lost 7 or 8 people from my first deployment. I got blown up in Iraq and minor injuries, so it wasn't anything major, but we had lost people that were married, had children, and I at the time was single. I didn't have anything besides my brother and sister and my mom and dad and stuff to come home to, so I struggled with why was I spared and not somebody else, that had more to come home to. My faith while I was in the service was more or less non-existent. I mean, I did a little praying when I was deployed, wanting him to keep me safe and those kind of things, which I feel like he did looking back on it. But most of my true faith that I have now, that I feel now, is kind of more or less developed and came since my being out and meeting my wife. So we were at Winter Jam concert, and we were just kind of standing at our seats, and God put it on my heart, like kind of pointed out this one kid that was pretty much in the front row in front of the stage, and he was kind of rocking out, really kind of enjoying himself, and I was like, man, that's awesome. He's really having some fun. And God said to me, you need to go pray for him. And I was quite kind of taken back, because I'm like, that is not something that I go do, right? I don't just walk up and pray for random people. So I kind of sat there and prayed, talked to God, and said, look, I need you to help me with this. Like, this is something I'm going to go do, and you want me to go do this. Like, I need you to kind of lead with whatever you're trying to tell him. I walked down, I kind of introduced myself. I said, hey, I know this is going to sound kind of weird. God really wants me to pray for you. I don't know what this looks like. I just know he's leading me to pray for you. Is that okay? He said, yeah. So I kind of prayed with him. God wanted him to know he wasn't alone, and that God loved him and he was there for him. Kind of exchanged numbers and talked a little bit after. And the next day he kind of told me that he went to Winter Jam at the end of his rope, and that he was, if he didn't feel like God would answer him or give him the answer he was looking for, that he was looking to go home from Winter Jam and kill himself. Hearing that from him wrecked me, because I don't know, like being used by God and led to go, save somebody's life, because he's been praying for it, was, I still shake when I talk about it. From there, I've learned to really just listen, and when God leads me to go do things, I do them, regardless of what the outcome may or may not be. He's led me to pray for all of my youth teams, with my youth teams, and I do that after every practice, after every game. You might not see the outcome of what he's asking you to go do. I was lucky enough at the concert to be able to see the outcome of what he wanted. You just don't know what kind of ripple it's going to have.